Welcome to the Cam and Joe Show. My name is Joe Steele. I'm here with my good friend Cameron Elkins. What's up, my man?
What's going on, big dog? How are you, bud?
Dude, it's been amazing.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. It's been a roller coaster of a week.
Give me some cheers.
Ooh,
Boom, baby.
Let me do this cheers.
Gino, we'll get you.
Gino.
So I'm excited to introduce him. So today we have a good friend on. By the way, like, subscribe, hit that button, share, comment, all that good stuff. But I've got my good friend Gino on. And I say good friend because I've had more in-depth conversations with him than I've had with most grown adults, and like good, deep conversations.
Love that.
Right? And so he was a friend of a friend, wanted to get into some film stuff. We started doing a short film, which I'm super excited to like debut here shortly. And we just kept having great conversations. What turned to a 5-minute convo turned to 2-3 hours. And I was like, bro, you're awesome.
Society needs to bring back those kind of combos. I feel like we're like now in TikTok society, so everything is quick content, surface.
Yeah.
Let's bring that
Well,
back.
everything's small talk.
Bring that
If
back.
you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
even talking
Everything
about anything. How's
Everything.
your Friday?
Yeah. Oh, it's good.
been great.
And then
Everybody's been-
everyone's just no good. Everything's good. Everything good. You good? Okay.
Exactly.
No news is good news. Okay. And that's it. The water doesn't even get to the root, man.
Gene, I don't think we've had a passing conversation that lasted less than 30 minutes.
No, especially when we sit down, we
Bro.
get into it. Start talking
And then
about
Joe starts serving
everything.
Joe starts serving coffee and
Yeah, he
I'm
gets
like,
to the tea, man.
So tell me what's going on. It's like, oh, I guess we're having this conversation. So, Gino, tell people about you. I know, I'm happy to know you, and I'm blessed to know you, and I'm happy that other people get to know you. So, go for it, man. Tell them about it.
You're making me blush.
Oh.
You're making me blush. Well,
we'll edit it out.
yeah, you have to. You got to get it out of there.
Saturation up. when you're
Exactly.
blushing.
Well, I did social media for a while. I guess that's my like claim to fame.
Sure.
I mean, I'm more than that, but I like to kind of talk about that because I had a crazy past, especially like I was this 17-year-old who had the world.
Yeah.
And then it kind of crashed down in front of him. And I like the idea of having this catalyst of growth.
Sure.
So I kind of view my life as that.
Yeah.
And I had that. I had probably like the toughest year of my life after having like 3 years of like
Killing
the
it.
greatest.
Sure.
The greatest. Living
Sure.
the dream of everyone. I mean,
Sure.
really, everyone nowadays wants to be that
Sure.
social media kid going to LA, making all this money, having FU money. I
Sure.
mean, but you know, there's a lot of things that come with that.
What was that period of time that kind of launched you into that world? Like, tell us some of the earlier stages of Gino becoming more of that household name as far as YouTube and views and subscribers. And
Well, because it's great because I saw my sister doing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
really, because this is exactly what happened. My sister, she started blowing up. She started getting the numbers, and I think she hit maybe like 100,000 followers. And then
Nice.
she flew out to Florida, went to this event, and then I came along with my younger sister. So we made it like this family vacation.
Yeah.
Love it, yeah.
And she was just getting autographs after autographs, and everyone was like, Ariana, you
Yeah.
are the greatest person ever. And now I'm this younger brother who's
Nice.
like, whoa,
yeah,
where's my glory?
ride
guys?
the wave, let's go.
And so I saw her doing these really great things, and I saw how her life was changing
Sure.
so quick. Because that's the thing with social media is you can blow up fast. So I was even talking to a friend recently about this. I don't know if I really had like
Onboarding process.
yeah,
You're just kind of like,
I got
little brother,
jumped into
boom.
it. Yeah, and I
Got
mean,
it.
I do because my sister, she's successful. I mean, she has maybe like I think 12 million followers on TikTok.
That's
and
crazy.
She's got 1 million on Instagram.
and generating income.
A lot of
like,
money.
got
She's
it.
just so a lot of people do look at that like I got a lot of my fame from her and her name, which
Yeah.
it is true. Like I mean,
100%,
having like
yeah.
a family that is doing this, but
Sure.
I've posted thousands of videos.
Yeah.
I was posting every single day for 2 years.
Yeah.
I never missed a day. So,
Yeah.
like I put in the work. I mean, I've had my viral videos. I've had my viral moments, which was separate from that family. But
Sure.
a lot of the content I was doing was just, it was me, my sister, my girlfriend, because that was the beauty of it. I had this group that I loved all of them. I supported all of them. I trusted all of them. It was me, my girlfriend of, I think at that time, maybe it was like 3 or 4 years. And then it was my sister and her boyfriend that was also maybe like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So we had this group that was just all making
Super
content
cohesive,
together.
making
and-
content. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
but it was,
Everybody vibing
imagine
really
that.
well.
Imagine being able to go to this LA Airbnb mansion where
Yeah.
all these other people are doing the same thing as you.
That's
and
awesome.
you're coming with it, with your family, with your girlfriend, the people you love.
Yeah.
And then you're making content.
Yeah.
Well, and that's,
Imagine that.
I can only imagine like the connectivity as well. I mean, when you talk with a normal person, like I'll throw coffee because that's the way I can relate with. I love coffee. And when I talk with people about coffee, there's that amount where I'm like, they're like, oh, I love Folgers or Starbucks. And I'm like, oh, okay. Conversation over. Yep. Like, I'm not going to continue this. It's great. We'll may find something else that we can find common ground on, but finding somebody that they're like, oh man, I love it too. And then you start nerding out. And when you finally nerd for a bit, you're like,
my people,
right? I can only imagine. And then that is a natural, attractive type of a thing. So being around other people like that, bro, I bet it was so energetic for you, and then almost intoxicating to a point where, because you're finally feeding off somebody else that is giving you exactly what you're trying to do, and you're almost like your egos are spiking at the same time.
No, absolutely. You're kind of fangirling each other, if you would, while you're
I love
there,
the video you did here.
Yeah.
Well, no one noticed that.
I
noticed that
when you were there for those kind of events. Was it a lot of you surrounding yourself or trying to get closer to some of those
the
producers that are putting out the big
ones that
numbers,
are doing bigger numbers than me, and then even think of that like that ego.
Oh yeah.
Now like I have to be this someone for you to like me, and that's LA though. Really, if you really think about it, and I mean, even going back to that original thing of like, I was a 17-year-old who was making a lot of money doing some really cool things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do I go talk to this other 17-year-old who's still going to high school, who's like, he's just gaming.
It's not relatable.
He's not really having any ambitious dreams or anything like that. Well, I'm like, so I really did have a disconnect of like reality for a while.
Sure.
And then it was cool though. I am appreciative of that because I saw the heights that I can do and that anyone can do. If you put in the work, if you are passionate about what you're doing and it's seen through your work ethic, you can do it. You really, really can do it.
100%.
Well, I mean,
that translates to anything.
Well, like, you put the work in, you're going to get the results.
Exactly.
I mean, working out. I mean, gym. I mean, you've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
Business. I mean, anything. And relationships, especially. You don't put the work in on the relationship. It's over.
Yeah.
Right. And there's that amount of you have a relationship with someone for a bit, and then you don't see each other, and then you pick up right where you left off. Those are always some of my favorites. Man.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so you're around all that, you saw all that, you're making all that money, all that stuff's happening. Was there a single person that was like, warning? But I'm like, yo, bro, this is cool.
I was just going to bring that up. Was there anyone in your life that was like, Gino, hey, stay grounded. Gino, stay grounded.
Yeah.
Hey, this is fleeting. This is nice and awesome and money and views and clicks and likes and da-da-da-da-da. But hey.
Yeah, be careful.
Focus.
I mean.
Did you have that sounding board?
Because at that point I was still in high school.
Yeah.
So, even my teachers, they were seeing everything I was doing. They were seeing I was going away for like a week and I'm going to LA doing these cool things.
Yeah.
And I had some great teachers. I mean, but other than that, not really. I mean, especially like after graduating, and especially because COVID, look at how COVID, my senior year,
for sure,
I was out. So
yeah.
I didn't have that for long. And
Yeah,
especially
Sure.
like, they saw a lot of like the beginning success. So they didn't really see like what I was becoming.
Sure.
Right. So once I was already in that LA vibe, that mentality of like, I need to be this version of myself.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, at that point, really, because what can you even really tell someone?
Sure.
If you're making this money or doing these things that you think are so great, how can you really get to them?
Yeah.
Especially being a young child.
Sure.
It's like
you're on a different playing
you're on
field.
top of the world.
You're speaking a different language to them.
Exactly.
It's
and I mean,
not going to resonate.
As wrong it is to say, but I had this view that was like, I am making this money. You are this teacher. And I look back at it now and I really do appreciate those people that were
Oh, for sure.
Sure.
I know now that all that stuff is superficial and it doesn't matter at all.
Hindsight's 20/20, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
100%.
But I was in this mindset, this delusion that I am making all this money. Who are you to tell me what to do?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
in I mean, a lot of ways, it's you do want advice from people that are successful. Sure. And my view of success was money.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
And I couldn't really like look into it in a different perspective in a way.
Yeah. You couldn't lean into anybody for advice if it wasn't led by money per se, nor were
Money,
you seeking
power, control, whatever it was.
Nor were you seeking it out unless they checked those boxes. That makes sense.
Exactly. I mean,
yeah, you weren't looking for a sounding board to tell you what you were doing is wrong by any means.
Yeah.
No one is ever going to look for that.
Sure.
I mean, if you don't think that anything's wrong, why would you go out and look for somebody to tell you that it is?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Well, to me, it's the basis of what you were going through was literally classism. Like we're looking at like kingship, right? So I just watched the movie the other day, Dragonheart. It's one of my faves. I love that movie. But what's crazy is what you're talking about parallels so well in this mindset of think about a king who had their son, and their son was going to inherit all of everything.
Yeah.
But the son has only known having everything, has never known what it was like to be a peasant, has never known what it was like to be a farmer or to be anything else. And so often they would go through different types of tutorships where they would learn the anatomy of the body. They would learn how people function, money, and gave them value and processes. And it's funny because we'll see historically, you can see a good king had an evil king, had a good king, had an evil king, which is where we get our concept. At least from my observation, the concept of good times create soft people, create hard times, create good people. You literally went through that within 5 years. All of like that rotation of history of that going from the king to, okay, well, wait a minute.
Nothing. Because imagine having all of that and now everyone is even talking to you for that. And then you lose it all. And now no one really, you don't even know who you are.
Sure.
You don't know what makes you happy. You were so in that world of money is everything. And now you've lost it all.
Sure, man.
Tell us a little bit more about that. So we talked about the rise, the precipice, making it in your eyes, making it right in the world's eyes, making it. Get us to the for
sure.
Because I
open up as much as you like.
Yeah,
as real as
I'm an open book, and I think what I went through was also it's important to talk about because I lost myself, and that like what I was talking about with that catalyst of change. You know, so exactly, this is what happened. I had this years of success with my girlfriend and my sister and her boyfriend, and we were doing all this content together. And then, you know, as I was changing and they were changing, and it eventually got to the point where, you know, the two, you know, my girlfriend and my sister's boyfriend, they started hitting it off a little bit.
Sure.
You know? And that's, you know, we were all, at this point, we were living in a house. We were slowing down on the social media a little bit, but we were still doing it pretty actively. We just weren't traveling to LA as much. So we were kind of settling down a little bit, you know, maybe planning some moves. And then they started hitting it off, you know, the late night bike rides, you know, that I'm not invited to. You know, so that happens. And then, you know, out of nowhere, they're together. So that's kind of what happened. And so now even like, look at that, like what I was just talking about.
Sure.
Like, I had all this great things, but then now my best friend, like truly my best friend and my girlfriend that like, because even like I had a very small group.
Sure.
I mean, if I have everyone who's just wanting things from me, even friends from high school, you know, they were reaching out for a person,
something,
you know, for something, you know, and so, you know, and now I'm nothing. I have nothing, and you know, that period. I was in a really dark spot, man.
Sure.
For around a year, I was like completely lost, man. I was depressed every single day. You know, I even got to the point where I really did not want to live no more. And that's even when I really did find God, though.
Sure.
Really, and that's what kind of gave me hope in a lot of ways, because I was just this, you know, every single day I was just smoking weed, sitting in my bed, doing nothing, you know, and I still had the money in my bank account, so I didn't have to go work. I didn't have to do anything. So I was just sitting in my bed.
It kept you stuck in that exact spot.
And I had nothing to gain.
What was that again? Open up to the degree in which you would like to, but tell us a little bit more, because I think that's hugely relatable, man. Looking at societal right now, I mean, drug addiction is high, suicide is high, everything on the wake of COVID, and everybody, I mean, we all know how important connectivity is. And then for 24 months, it's everybody stay home and 6 feet apart, and right? And then the social aspect, the cognitive aspect, literally ruining people's lives, right? Because connectivity is so important. You having all of that fame and momentum and clout and clicks and likes and shares and you hit that moment, you go through that dark period of time. What was because a lesser man wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
I was
right?
about to say
you were able to get through that. Tell us a little bit more about maybe even a moment, or what was that? Because again, Gino, like many wouldn't have survived some of those dark moments.
Yeah.
I have friends, very good friends, that have told me about moments where in the middle of the night they drove to an overpass.
Yeah.
And they got down on their knees and they turned their life around. Tell us again, to the degree in which you would,
Yeah.
that you're comfortable. Tell us a little bit about either some of those darker moments or what it was, because we can say God got me through that.
Yeah.
Give me more.
I really did
than that.
have like, there was an exact moment. I don't remember it too exactly, but I remember I was just on the highway.
Sure.
I was going like 100, 110 in my little Honda.
Love it.
You know, and I really realized that if I want to end my life, I can just do it.
Right now.
I have that power.
Yeah.
And then that I really thought about. I was sitting there driving fast, and that mentality of, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Why don't just do it?
Yeah.
And then I really,
It's hard.
then I thought about my family. I thought about my mom. I thought about my sister, and that, I don't know. I could never do that to them. You know, and even just, and at that point, I mean, I knew how lost I was.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously, like, everyone has depressive moments, and everyone feels like, but this was that actual, like, I was really contemplating it, and that's it scared me. And then I reached out to my mom, and I told my sister, and I said, hey, I'm really going through a lot right now. This, you know, and at this point, maybe it was like 6 months post-removed of the breakup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm putting on the fake smile. I'm still doing social media.
Yeah.
No one really knows what I'm going through.
Yeah.
And I told my mom, I was like, hey, it's really not good.
Yeah.
And we had this sit down. I remember it. I was sitting here, and my mom and my sister were just looking at me, and I remember telling them how I was going through this. And
Yeah.
dude, we were all crying. We were going through it. And really, I mean, just having
No
that
dry
that
eyes in the
support.
room.
No.
Yeah.
And I mean, so I am thankful for like my family, because I really, dude,
Yeah.
if I didn't have that support, and that's the issue, is a lot of people don't have that support. They don't have that
Nope.
fall back. They can't.
No.
You know, and so
Or they isolate themselves so far, they burn all those bridges completely.
yeah.
I mean, imagine the stat of the amount of individuals with wealth that take their own lives versus extremely poor that take their own lives. Is night and day.
Oh, it's huge.
It's lonely at the top. I mean, you get to the very top by stepping on everyone's neck to get there. There's no one with you. You've attained it all.
Yep.
All, whatever all is,
Yeah. Sure.
and you're empty.
In their eyes, at least.
Exactly, in your own eyes, and there's no one there. So then drug addiction and alcoholism and women and and that's a means to no end.
And even look at that reality they're living in.
Yeah.
Having all that money.
Yeah.
Sure.
No one really wants to know who you are. I mean, they know how much money
Yeah.
that you have, and that's enough for a lot of people.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean,
For a click or a like, but how many? Unless you can attain that and bring people with you, I think the magic. I think there's some magic there. If you're able to attain it, like you did with your sister, even.
Yeah.
I'm sure your guys' relationship, having attained it, and then where you're at today, I'm sure your relationship has your roots.
Yeah.
Have sunk that much deeper, right?
I mean, because even she was going through it as well.
Yeah,
You know,
100%.
There wasn't just one part to
So
that. It wasn't just your loss.
She was trying to heal just as I was.
Yeah.
So I really, you know, and I don't blame her in any way, but like we were even disconnected. So I lost
Sure.
my sister, I lost my best friend, I lost it all. So
Yeah.
it was just like that was the catalyst, man.
Straight up.
And I am here now. And I will say I found myself through the gym in a lot of ways. Just that physical discipline of like, you have to go do this every single day. And
Yeah.
also it's a form of meditation for a lot of people.
100%.
It's like, if you're just there to work on yourself, you're not really thinking of all these depressive moments, all
Sure.
of this stuff that's going on in your life. You're thinking about one more rep.
Yep.
One more rep.
Yep.
You know? And so
Gym saves lives, bro.
it really
Saves
does. And
lives.
like, even
Therapy session on the
it
platform.
it really is a therapy. I mean, even going out with like friends and going and working out, that was the way for me. At least I created relationships through the gym.
Yeah.
With that, which
Yeah.
you can say whatever you want about the gym, because I do agree that a lot of people go for like, ego reasons.
Sure.
They want to be like, they want to look good.
Sure.
But for me, man, I love it. I love going there. I love being in my own zone.
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
I have my headphones in. I'll be singing Kanye West just in my own world of reality. And, and so it really did get me out of it in a lot of ways. So I'm thankful for that.
Well, I think that the big thing is the thing I see is consistent is it's one of my favorite scriptures is pride comes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall, right? Pride in all of it is nothing bad could ever happen to me.
Yeah.
Right. Or I can do this alone. I don't need anybody else's help.
Yeah.
I've got this. Leave me alone. Look, you don't know what it's like to be me.
Yeah.
I've got power. You don't. Right. You can see
Isolationism.
You can see that my island is only big enough for me.
Yeah.
When it's like, well, yeah, if your island is you're your own country, you can never be united with anyone else.
Yeah.
And so often, even in business, it's funny that you'll see it with businessmen. I love a lot of people, and you'll see this. Well, you just don't know what you're talking about because the guy's like, look, I'm not coming to attack. Yeah. I'm doing it because I care. I'm open for a conversation if you like it. I've got to figure it out. Okay, no problem.
But that is rare. Who you are is rare to find, even in this world. Not a lot of people are like willing, even just willing to talk about somebody else. They are. Yeah. They have their own issues. They have their own problems. So they can't even give you the time of day to get into that.
Yeah. They're only focusing on themselves and self-preservation.
Yeah, and every day I get to look at overcoming stuff, man. And in the place of transparency, I've thought about killing myself multiple times. If I'm going to be very honest, I don't think,
I know fewer people that haven't had that conversation than have. Yeah. And I feel like there's so much magic in knowing that everyone walks through just really, really dark times. We said it in probably episode 3 or 4.
Yeah.
If you're watching somebody online or on the movie screen or whatever, if the grass is always greener, it's probably turf.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
Probably fake.
Yeah.
There's probably nuance to it that you don't even know. But if you know, if you can pull back the veil and their life isn't actually perfect and their relationships are actually falling apart and they don't have relationships with their direct family and they're just isolationists out on this island with all the money in the world and the fame and the click and the likes.
Yeah.
Why is that, from a societal standpoint, why is that becoming a goal when there's hurt there? And they go through the same amount of hurt and pain in real life.
Yeah.
Whereas the magic is if we can all realize that we're all hurting.
Yeah.
We're all going through our own stuff.
Yep.
What can we do to link arms with other people that may be millionaires, that may be billionaires, that may be the poorest of the poor?
Yeah.
When we're all created equally. Yeah. And the individual with $1 million in the bank or a couple and 1 million followers has the exact same value, true value in the eye of God.
Yeah.
To the other individual that doesn't. Why do we just put that on the pedestal? Yeah. Why don't we allow ourselves to organically go back to we're all in this together. Okay. We're better together.
Because no one actually wants to. Everyone here's this is one of my favorite things about like pride, right? You want to talk about yourself, but you don't want to talk about your problems. Because as soon as
let's talk about our problems,
right?
Man.
As soon as you talk about your problems, your pride has to step back.
Yeah.
Because now you're saying
now you're not perfect. And everybody knows better,
right? And then if you're like, no, I really have an issue with such and such and such, that humbling moment of admitting it and confessing it. I mean, like AA meetings. Yeah. Like think about how they start those. Hi, my name is so and so.
Yeah. Hi, Joe. Yeah.
Right. That there's power in that. Yeah. That has been a proven fact.
100%.
And as we continue, like as technology advances and everything happens, we're losing ourselves. But the simplicity of things have to come back. The connectivity moments have to come back as a society, because if they don't come back, it's terrifying.
We're doomed. We're doomed.
I mean, with social media, everybody is perfect, right?
Yeah.
And that's, I think
you're not going to go on there just to post having a really shit day. Yeah. People be like, oh God, what's wrong with Cam? Like, bro, you seemed so happy-go-lucky yesterday. Like, just keeping it real today. Everyone's gonna be like,
Whoa, what's
whoa.
Yeah.
And the air just left the room.
And then you trend number 1. You're like, wait a minute.
Wait.
This whole time.
There was magic to
But
being grossly real.
It is kind of going towards that way. People are
Yeah.
craving something real.
Authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Bro,
we all know
preach
we
it.
aren't perfect.
Yeah.
Right? But isn't it interesting how we judge people because we almost think that they should be perfect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah,
I
we
know
have
I'm
this-
not perfect, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. I think there's a lot to that. If we can, mind you, we will only ever influence those immediate circles around us, right? But if we can individually
Yeah.
allow more reality to be shown
Sure.
on social media versus look how perfect my life is, right? I feel like you're going to have a greater reach. And when I say reach, I'm not talking about clicks and likes and content. I'm talking about actual reach, actual discipleship, actual bringing of individuals and souls with you
Yeah.
on the path to where you're headed.
Well, to counterpoint that, though, that doesn't make Facebook, Instagram, TikTok money. They
Yeah.
need pretty people doing pretty things, doing things that make them money. So
Yeah.
when somebody Googles TikTok or when they type in TikTok on the search bar, all the images are pretty because we're attracted to the most attractive things.
Yeah.
That's just what we do as a society.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I get it.
It's what we're programmed to see as.
If it ain't pretty, like think about food.
Yeah.
Like, like the prettier the food, the better it's supposed to taste. I've been to places where I'm like, this looks amazing. I eat it, and I'm like, nope. And there's other places where I'm all, this looks like garbage. My buddy's like, you got to try it, man. And I eat it, and I'm all,
Bomb.
oh my gosh, that's so good. It's the same thing.
I'll take some more.
It's that we want the substance of the food, but we're not willing to take it at face value. Or we're only willing to take it at face value. We're not willing to judge it based off the ingredients, judge it based off of who made it. Grandma made something, guess what?
Yeah.
It's probably going to be way better than something you're going to make because she put love into that thing and you can taste
And
it.
she's been making it for 70 years.
And you look at it and it's like that, and you're like, oh no, trust me. And you're like, okay. And they eat it and they're like, man, what's the flavor? And you're like, love.
Yep.
Right? And that's the truth. You can taste it. You can feel it when somebody's intentions are not to be, they're doing it because they want you to have good food. They're doing it because they want you to succeed. They're doing it because they want you to have the best, right? Elevating you. And that is what we're missing in society in that instincts, because we're not able to be vulnerable because as soon as you are, you lose that clout.
Yeah.
And that clout, I mean, let's be real. It doesn't matter.
These big numbers, really, what does it matter?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we
100%.
even looking at a sense like we can't even really go communicate with all these people if it's that big of the numbers. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, we even know that we are meant to be small tribal people. We aren't really
100%.
supposed to be reaching out to hundreds and hundreds of thousands. So I think, especially nowadays, that's the approach I've had recently. Is like, how can I bring myself into the content? Which, it might not do great. It might not be getting the same numbers. But if I am positively impacting somebody in their life, and even, showing them that it can be done,
100%.
I think that's, dude, if you can get 10 people to go do what they want to do individually and not because Joe is, telling them to go do this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's what
Well, that's a funny thing you mentioned, because what I always see, and the fight I deal with people the most, well, it's like, help me with my business, help me with this, help me with this. And I have no issue doing it, and I love doing it. And this isn't me crapping on that. But the one thing I always consistently hear was, well, I just can't.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, you are a ball of opportunity. You can do anything.
You have the same 24 hours that everybody else does, man.
Oh my gosh.
But they've been told that. Everyone around them, society has told them, you need to go to school. You need to do this to be successful. I mean, and I think a lot of the ways, my own story shows that you can do it. Really, if you have this crazy dream, just start doing it. Because planning is great, but the execution is what really matters. So if you want to sit back and, I have this amazing plan, you're going to write it every single day. No, you really just need to go do it, bro.
All you ever got better at is writing it down.
Well, I never know anybody that started a business that was 100% confident in it. They were like,
there's no great time to do it. You just got to do it.
They're like, look, this is a bad time. I think about like 60, 70%. Do it.
Go.
Just run.
The Shia LaBeouf meme.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah. Do it. Do it. Yes, exactly.
And that's ultimately where we're at, right? It's fine. I want equal opportunities. You have it. When? Right now, magic wand.
Yeah.
Boop.
Boom.
You got it.
Yeah.
You are now fully equipped.
What do you mean you have equal opportunities? Yeah, in the open playing field of life, you have the opportunity right now to go and learn that skill to become who you want to be.
Yep.
This is your dream.
Yep.
Learn this and pursue that.
And if you believe anything other than that, you're sipping the tea, man.
Yeah, because then you're devaluing your capabilities.
Correct.
Right? If looking at everybody else's capabilities, we talked about this the other day. It's like looking at everybody else's capabilities, you see a 10-year-old kid, he's shredding on the guitar. You're like, why would I pick up the guitar? But the therapeutic element of playing the music and the emotion that comes behind it and learning it and learning the craft of it, there's so much that goes into it that you become refined. And that was something that was always known throughout the ages. That's why, like, think of like the most profound men in history were known as Renaissance men. They could speak multiple languages. They knew the anatomy of the body. They knew how to cook. They knew how to paint. They knew how to sword fight.
Yeah.
They were strategists. They build boats and build houses. It's like, well, those guys were pretty profound.
Yeah.
Well, because of all that knowledge, they were also very respectable.
Yeah.
Because every time they learned something they didn't know, it grounded them in a different part of society and made them better.
Yep.
So
Through the humbling process of taking on something new.
Precisely.
They became more refined every time there was a new venture.
And so it's like, I think like, it's like, oh, I have a midlife crisis. Cool. Learn something new.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, go
Find
pick up a
something
new
you have
skill.
no control over that you're like, I always wanted to. Freaking go for it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, because even going, like, if you have all of these different things you're going after, it opens your reality, opens your perception to what the bigger picture really is. Because if if you have done this same thing for 40 years, how can you really change?
That's
I
the
mean, I'm not
definition.
saying you can't change,
Yeah.
but, when you're in that cycle of
This is what I
every
do.
single day, and it's, so that's why, especially when you're young, man, you have to go.
You have the opportunities. Opportunities there.
Yep. It's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I'm going to go to this job every day. It doesn't fulfill me, but maybe tomorrow it will.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then maybe next year it will.
I'm going to have a marriage and I'm going to not put any energy in it, and it's going to be a loveless marriage. And then maybe tomorrow I'll love my wife.
Exactly what it is, though. It's tomorrow. It's always tomorrow, tomorrow. But
100%.
it's got to be today, guys.
Do it. Just do it. Just do it.
You have
Do
to.
it.
You have to. I mean, there is no tomorrow. That's really what I've tried to.
Yep.
Especially because now we're all dopamine addicts. We all just want to have this constant hit. But if you are able to do even the smallest task, even if it's, hey, I need to clean my room. Hey, I need to go do this. I need to do this. Getting it done. That's what really is gratifying to yourself.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well,
100%.
having a goal and achieving it, and once it's achieved, it's the next thing you can dream. And I've noticed, like, if I've looked at my life and I started analyzing, going, okay, what is something? Because I've done a lot of weird stuff, and I'm like, how did I get those opportunities? And I started looking back and was like, you remember 16, I was in a rock band. Who said I couldn't do it? My dad. And I was like, screw that, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
But by doing that, opened up the avenue to something else. And then
Yeah.
wrote multiple plays, wrote music for those plays. And then, like, each time I did it, no one was like, when I started doing it, I was like, I'm thinking about doing this. They're like, you can do that? I'm like, well, I don't know, can I? They're like, I think you can. You're like, I guess I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it just happened. And nothing in life just, if you're not pursuing it, it doesn't happen. And then that led to another, that when I talked with my wife, was like, we should open a coffee shop. She's seen the pattern of my life. I went, yeah, let's. If you believe you're going to do it, I know for a fact you're going to find a way.
The magic of childhood is no one yet is telling them that they can't.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When the world is your oyster, and what do you want to be? Anything. I want to be a YouTube star. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a this and the other. Go for it, buddy.
Exactly.
Go for it.
100%.
Just go for it.
Yeah.
But if we can have that same mentality now, as adults, or even as preteens or young adults, or in your 30s or 40s, just dive bleeping in to it, because you can talk about it for the rest of your life, and then you're gonna eventually go 6 feet into the ground, and all of those yous that could have been successful are just gonna say, man, I wish we would have gone for it.
It makes me think, you seen the movie Interstellar?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Right? One of my favorite lines from Matthew McConaughey. We used to look up at the stars and think, what if? Now we've got our heads so stuck in the dirt. And it's like, that's life, right?
Yeah.
If as soon as you stop looking up to the stars and having that awe, that wonder of what's next, what else can I do? You need to find something that will spark that awe, right? And if you don't have that awe and you lose it, that's when you start hitting depression. That's when you start hitting those things.
Yeah.
But that also comes in a groundedness of finding other people that are looking for the awe as well. Finding other people. It's that tribal element, right?
I love that.
We are made for that connectivity. And if we start looking at it going, wow, you're looking at that too? Dude, what? Half the bands you ever hear, their stories like, so what are you doing? Oh, we were hanging out and I was playing at his house. And he's like, you want to make a band? I was like, well, you think we could do that? Yeah. All right. Boom. They got a band. That's like
a group of people with no one saying that you can't can change the freaking world.
Exactly. It's exactly. And that's why social media is so powerful, because if put into the hands of people, think about where you're at now. Think about if Gino now had the opportunities he had then.
Yeah.
Think about how much different.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to ask you this.
Sure.
So coming from a place of like this depression, like a lot of kids are, how do you think they go about finding that thing that they are passionate about? Even if it's not necessarily, you know, because I'll even say this as well. I think a lot of the times we're looking for that one thing.
Yeah.
We have this whole of, I need to find that one thing that I'm really great at, that thing that I'm super passionate about. But where do you think the road has looked like for you?
No, it's easy. Find the thing you hate the most.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is because if you hate it, that means you have a vitriol in you. You can't stand it, which means there's a passion in you to fix it. We tolerate a lot of things. We don't hate a lot of things.
Yeah.
You can tolerate, it's going to sound awful. Like gang shootings, I tolerate it. There's nothing in me that jumps out at me.
Yeah.
Like children starving, it's awful, right?
Yeah.
I don't like it, but nothing jumps out at me going, I need to fix that. But you tell me somebody that's being oppressed and doesn't feel like they can do it, oh, bro, it's on. That's my passion. I hate it when somebody says, I can't do it, and I hate the phrase, because I said so, right?
Yeah, we talked about that.
And the phrase, well, it's always been that way. I can't do it. As soon as you say that, I'm not an angry person. Well, you will make me angry. But that's because I found the thing that I hate is aligned directly with my destiny of who I am, helping people answer those questions properly, helping them get the abilities and gifts to do that. So I always ask that. It's like, what do you hate? Oh, man, I hate bad movies. Well, good. You're probably meant to be a movie maker.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I really hate how they did such and such. Well, that's probably what you're called to be, because you hate it so much. The coin of love and hate is boom. They're the same, like boom.
Yeah.
You just got to flip it. Yeah. And what you love is normally paralleled straight to it. If you hate people getting abused, you're probably supposed to be an authoritative figure, police officer or therapist, right?
Yeah.
You just got to find that. And it's easy for us. That's why hate, as much as it gets glorified so much, because everyone feels this, I could do better than that, because we all parallel in that realm.
Yeah.
For us to not acknowledge hatred for what it is, it's undefined passion. It's unpointed passion, right? So as soon as you go, man, I hate that person had that happen to him. Well, there you go. You just found it.
Yeah.
You just found your calling. You just found the next part of life that you're supposed to go on. And the older I get, the more the things that I hate shift a little bit. Like, I never used to think I hated a bad cup of coffee. Oh my gosh, I can tell you, not a fan, right? That happened, and then all of a sudden I was like, I'm gonna make coffee, right? And then boom, got a coffee shop. I hated bad music. And so I learned music to try and overcome that, and that created the band, right? You find things that you hate, and then you create the fix for that.
Yeah.
If everyone was looking at the world going,
I love that.
Don't like that, that's an evil, ugly blot, and they look at the void, and instead of letting the void tell them what to feel, they go, I'm going to change you.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn the light on. Yeah. That's the powering of a person. And so that's why, you asked me that. It's like one of my favorite things. It's like, oh, I hate this. Well, good.
Yeah.
What are you going to do to fix it?
Yeah.
Because even thinking about working out, think about a doctor could come to somebody and be like, hey, we got 6 months to live. If the person goes, okay, then that's it. They're accepting their death. If they go, done. I don't want to die, and they get angry about it, you could be like, well, that person's an angry person. No, that person wants to live. Their passion shifts.
Yeah.
Think about the gym. Somebody goes, oh, I think I want to lose some weight. But as soon as they go, I am done. I hurt. I don't like this. And there's this.
Well, it's coming from themselves.
That moment.
And especially with even like personal training, a lot of the ways to get somebody to lose that weight, it has to come from themselves.
100%.
If you are just if you're just in the background just telling them, hey, you got this, bro, you got this, it's not going to do much. But if you can find those sticking points of like, you are motivated to do this because of this, and I know that as your personal trainer, let's start working. Like, let me start pushing you in that way, and especially getting them onto that that level of discipline, because you have to stay with it every single day.
The clients of mine from the fitness industry, because I was in the fitness industry about 6 years before I got into the financial sector in lending, and the clients of mine over that period of time that had the greatest amount of success were the ones that you would externally, as their trainer, it's your job to get them to intern, because if it's only ever, like you said, if it's only ever external, they're never going to arrive. But as their trainer, meeting with them day in, day out, 5:30 in the morning, it's like, Mark, why are you here? Mark, why are you here? Think about your kids. You told me that when the doctor told you about your prognosis, you only have this much period, this many more years ahead of you. You talked about wanting to see your 20-year-old eventually get married and see your grandkids. Visualize you with your grandkids right now.
Love that.
And now what we're about to do is going to get you there.
I love
you
that.
Ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's powerful.
Not just and using visualization, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And not just and you take that same skill and apply it in lending.
Yeah.
When people are like, I went from this apartment to this apartment and this, that, and the other, and they're talking about wanting their own home, right? And I'm giving them the roadmap now in lending to get to that home, that property, that real estate that they're going to buy. And I'm like, using visualization, picture yourself in the backyard with your kids playing with your dog.
Yeah.
Right now you're in an apartment. You don't have a backyard. You barely have a 6 foot by 8 foot little patio. You don't get a dog. Imagine that. Is that worth it? Is the hard work and the savings, and I'm telling you to put away $1,500 a month for the next 8 months?
Yeah.
Is that going to be worth it? Yeah, it's going to be worth it. Lock in. Let's get there.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing. You hit this set. It's when you can utilize visual, and you can do that for yourself, right?
Yeah,
You can
100%.
anytime you have a goal ahead of you, visualization is so important, right? Because if you can't see it here, you're never going to see it out there, right? So to go back, Gino, to what you were saying in regards to a young person who's maybe depressed or seeking some kind of guidance, I think to parallel with what Joe's saying, and maybe my approach isn't so much find what you hate. I think it's just a matter of getting around individuals or finding them, whether that's in a mom, a dad, sister, brother, coach, principal, teacher, therapist, if you have the capacity to. Find somebody that believes in you.
Yeah.
Period. Start there.
Yep.
Because if, again, island mentality, you're only going to get so far on your own.
True.
So speaking to that young viewer or watcher or listener, get someone around you. And if you don't have somebody around you to say that you can, message us or comment in, because if we can use this platform at any capacity, I want it to be used to energize individuals to have positive momentum. Absolutely. At whatever capacity.
Oh, for sure.
Whether that's relational or financial or anything. I want this platform to continue to bless people. I want this, whether they listen to us for 30 seconds or they jump in and watch a 40 or 35-minute podcast, I want them to leave with a new tool to help them equip for their own life and to utilize at whatever capacity they would. It's community, man. Yeah. It's community. It's getting people around you. And if you don't have anybody that believes in you, we believe in you.
Absolutely.
I believe in you.
100%.
Gino believes in you.
I totally
Joe believes in you. Keep going.
Realizing you're not alone. I mean,
it's everything.
Even just look at
everything.
How life really is. Go walk out to Walmart right now and go talk to somebody. A lot of the times, we are like this mirror of reality, right? So if you are projecting this conversation that's so real, a lot of the times they're going to reciprocate. So really realizing that you're not alone. There are so many opportunities that you can have every single day. Every single day, you have the opportunity to be the new character. You can be the hero of your own story.
Absolutely.
We fall into these realities that everyone else has put these thoughts onto us, and that's made us into who we are. But realize that you are right? Yeah. You are the character that you can build.
Perfectly written.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, Gino. I mean, you're.
We could go on and on and on with this guy, man.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I love
It's about to be the Cam, Joe, and Gino show, and that actually doesn't sound terrible. I'm just
Cam,
saying.
Joe, and Gino.
Cam, Joe, and Gino. The C double G. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh shoot.
Oh, you're Jay. Yeah. Anyway.
Whoa.
We'll change your name.
Come on. For the podcast.
Do it for the podcast, man.
I'm normally not a fan of peer
Joe
pressure,
with a
but okay.
Joe with a G. Land the plane, man. Let's bring this home.
Wouldn't that just be Goey?
It would. Yeah, it's weird. Land the plane, baby.
Awesome, man. Well, if you've liked it, go ahead and hit the like, subscribe, throw comments in there. I'd love to hear your passions, what you've got going on. Gino, I really appreciate you coming on, man, and just giving your perspective. It's always nice hearing both sides of the story. We normally only get to hear one side. We only get to see either the bad or we only get to see the good. Hearing the good went to bad, came back to good, that success is huge.
100%.
And I was super blessed by hearing you talk, man. And always talking to you always makes me happy. But getting to share that with Cameron also makes me happy.
It was really great meeting you.
Likewise,
great
man.
Conversation.
Likewise. I love that you're in town. I'm looking forward to connecting more.
So, Gino, I mean, I love that you're doing art and stuff right now. What's your social media tag? People can follow and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Connect with you a little
Gino
more.
Bonfilio.
Spell it.
GenoBonfigilio.
Oh, yeah.
There's a fig in there. I like that.
Yeah, Bonfiglio.
Bonfiglio.
Hopefully,
I like that.
if you see the content that I'm doing nowadays, it's what this conversation was, right? That's what I'm shooting for. Is this Gino, this person, this facade of who I am? That's the content I'm planning on doing.
I love it, man.
But planning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it. Just do it. Do it.
Well, you know you got some guys in your corner. If you ever need anything, you know you can holler.
Sweet.
So, thanks for checking it out, man.
Laters.
Thank you for checking out the Cam and Joe Show.
If you guys are liking our content so far, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. You can also listen to us on Spotify.